What if I told you that a 2,000-year-old philosophy could completely transform how you handle every single problem at work? That the same mental tools used by Roman emperors to lead armies could help you deal with that toxic coworker, impossible deadlines, and overwhelming stress? By the end of this video, you'll have a complete blueprint that turns workplace chaos into opportunities for growth. But first, let me share something that might shock you. Before we dive deep into these life-changing strategies, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Why? Because I'm about to share techniques that most people pay thousands of dollars to learn in executive coaching sessions. This channel is your daily dose of ancient wisdom for modern problems, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, here's what shocked me when I first discovered this. Stay with me because in just a few minutes, I'll give you the exact 3-step framework that Marcus Aurelius used to handle the most stressful situations in the Roman Empire. And it works perfectly for modern workplace problems. The average person spends 90,000 hours at work during their lifetime. That's more time than we spend sleeping, eating, or with our families. Yet most of us are miserable at work. We're stressed, overwhelmed, and constantly fighting battles we can't win. Here's the brutal truth. 76% of employees report being burned out at work. Workplace stress costs the U.S. economy over $300 billion annually. But here's what's even more shocking. Most of this suffering is completely unnecessary. The ancient Stoics faced problems that make our worst workday look like a vacation. Marcus Aurelius led an empire while dealing with plagues, wars, and political betrayals. Epictetus was literally a slave before becoming one of history's greatest teachers. Yet they developed mental frameworks that allowed them to thrive under pressure. The difference between them and us? They understood something we've forgotten. The problem isn't what happens to us at work, it's how we respond to what happens. Let me start with a story that will change how you see every workplace challenge. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his personal journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He wrote this while managing an empire, dealing with corrupt senators, and facing military threats on multiple fronts. Think about your worst day at work. Maybe your boss criticized you unfairly, a project fell through, or a colleague threw you under the bus. Now imagine handling that situation with the calm confidence of a Roman emperor. The Stoics discovered 3 fundamental truths about problems. First, every problem contains the seeds of opportunity. When Epictetus was sold into slavery, he could have become bitter and defeated. Instead, he used that experience to develop teachings that have influenced millions for over 2,000 years. Second, our emotional reactions to problems cause more suffering than the problems themselves. Think about it. How many times have you lost sleep over a work issue that resolved itself within days? Third, we always have more control than we think we do. Even in the most restrictive situations, we control our thoughts, our responses, and our choices. This isn't positive thinking or wishful optimism. This is practical philosophy that works in the real world. And I'm about to show you exactly how to apply it. Keep watching because the framework I'm about to share will literally rewire how your brain processes workplace stress. And I'll give you a practical exercise you can use immediately. Here's the most powerful technique in the Stoic toolkit, the circle of control. Epictetus taught this to his students over 1,900 years ago, and it's still the most effective way to handle any workplace problem. Imagine 3 circles. Circle 1, complete control. Your thoughts, your responses, your effort, your attitude, your preparation, your learning. Circle 2, influence. Your relationships with colleagues, your reputation, your skill development, how you communicate. Circle 3, no control. Your boss's mood, company policies, economic conditions, other people's decisions, office politics. Here's where most people go wrong. They spend 80% of their mental energy on Circle 3, things they can't control. They worry about whether they'll get promoted, whether their boss likes them, whether the company will downsize. The Stoics did the opposite. They focused 80% of their energy on Circle 1 and 20% on Circle 2. They completely ignored Circle 3. Let me give you a real example. Sarah, a marketing manager, was constantly stressed because her boss was unpredictable and often changed project requirements at the last minute. Old approach. Sarah would complain to colleagues, lose sleep worrying about her boss's next mood swing, and feel helpless. Stoic approach. Sarah realized her boss's behavior was in Circle 3, completely outside her control. So she focused on Circle 1, documenting all communications, building buffer time into project timelines, and developing multiple contingency plans. Result? Sarah's stress dropped dramatically, her performance improved, and ironically, her relationship with her boss got better because she was always prepared for changes. Practical exercise. Right now, think of your biggest workplace problem. Write it down. Now categorize every aspect of this problem into the 3 circles. You'll be amazed at how much mental energy you've been wasting on things you can't control. We've all been there. That colleague who takes credit for your work. The boss who micromanages everything. The team member who never pulls their weight. These people can make work feel like a battlefield. But here's what Marcus Aurelius understood. Difficult people are actually our greatest teachers. He wrote, "Whenever you want to cheer yourself, consider the good qualities of your companions." Notice he didn't say, avoid difficult people or fight back. He said find their good qualities. This isn't about being a pushover. This is about strategic thinking. The Stoic strategy for difficult colleagues. Step 1. Assume positive intent. Most difficult behavior comes from fear, insecurity, or pressure. That micromanaging boss might be terrified of failure. That credit-stealing colleague might feel inadequate. Understanding their motivation gives you power. Step 2. Control your response. You can't control their behavior, but you can control your response. Seneca said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Each difficult interaction is a chance to practice patience, wisdom, and emotional control. Step 3. Set clear boundaries. Being stoic doesn't mean being passive. Marcus Aurelius was known for his firm but fair leadership. Document important conversations. Communicate expectations clearly. Protect your work and your peace of mind. Real example. Tom worked with a colleague who constantly interrupted him in meetings and dismissed his ideas. Instead of getting angry or avoiding meetings, Tom used the Stoic approach. He prepared thoroughly for every meeting, Circle 1. He documented his ideas beforehand, Circle 1. He calmly restated his points when interrupted, Circle 1. He focused on the value of his contributions, not his colleagues' behavior, Circle 1. Within months, Tom's reputation for professionalism grew, while his difficult colleagues' behavior became obvious to everyone, including management. The key insight? When you stop reacting emotionally to difficult people, you start responding strategically. And strategic responses always win in the long run. Impossible deadlines. Overwhelming workloads. The feeling that there's never enough time. Sound familiar? Here's what the Stoics knew about time that we've forgotten. Time isn't the problem. Our relationship with time is the problem. Marcus Aurelius managed an entire empire, yet he found time to write philosophical reflections that we still read today. How? He understood the Stoic principle of present moment awareness. The Stoic time management system. Morning reflection, 5 minutes every morning. Marcus Aurelius would remind himself, "Today I will meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness." He wasn't being negative, he was being prepared. Start your workday by acknowledging what challenges might come. This mental preparation prevents reactive stress and helps you stay focused on what matters. The priority filter, Seneca taught, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Before starting any task, ask yourself, is this in my circle of control? Does this align with my core responsibilities? Will this matter in a week, month, or year? Evening review, 5 minutes. End each workday by reflecting. What went well? What could I improve? What did I learn? This isn't about perfectionism. It's about continuous improvement and maintaining perspective. Practical example, Jennifer, a project manager, was drowning in deadlines. She felt like she was always behind, always stressed. She applied the Stoic approach. Morning. She spent 5 minutes identifying her top 3 priorities for the day. During work, she focused only on tasks in her circle of control. When overwhelmed, she reminded herself that stress comes from wanting things to be different than they are. Evening. She reviewed what she accomplished, not what remained undone. Result? Jennifer's productivity increased by 40%, and her stress levels dropped dramatically. She realized she had been wasting enormous energy fighting reality instead of working with it. Stay with me because I'm about to share the most powerful Stoic technique for transforming any workplace problem into an opportunity. Plus, I'll give you a bonus framework at the end that ties everything together. Here's the most transformative Stoic principle. Every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't motivational fluff. This is a practical framework for reframing every workplace challenge. The obstacle as path technique. Level 1. Immediate reframe. When faced with a problem, immediately ask, how is this obstacle actually helping me grow? Got passed over for a promotion? Maybe it's forcing you to develop new skills or showing you that this company isn't the right fit. Dealing with a difficult project? Maybe it's teaching you patience, problem solving, or leadership skills you'll need later. Level 2. Historical perspective. The Stoics were students of history. They knew that every great achievement came through overcoming obstacles. Think about successful people you admire. Did they have easy careers? Of course not. They became successful because they learned to turn obstacles into stepping stones. Level 3. Legacy thinking. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on how his actions would be remembered. Not for ego, but for perspective. Ask yourself, how do I want to handle this challenge? What kind of person do I want to become through this experience? Real transformation story. Mike was a software developer who got assigned to a failing project that everyone expected to crash and burn. His initial reaction was frustration and resentment. Then he applied the Stoic reframe. Immediate. This project would teach him crisis management and problem solving under pressure. Historical. Every successful leader had managed failing projects. Legacy. He wanted to be known as someone who could turn around difficult situations. Mike threw himself into the project with Stoic determination. He focused on what he could control, learned from every setback, and maintained his composure under pressure. The project didn't just succeed, it became a model for the company. Mike got promoted to team lead within 6 months. The obstacle became the way. The workplace will always have stress, challenges, and difficult people. The question isn't how to avoid these things, it's how to build the emotional resilience to handle them with grace. The Stoics were masters of emotional resilience. They developed specific practices that we can use today. The Stoic Emotional Toolkit. 1. The view from above. When Marcus Aurelius felt overwhelmed, he would imagine viewing his problems from space. From that perspective, most workplace drama seems pretty small. Next time you're stressed, try this. Imagine you're looking down at your office from an airplane. How important does that deadline really seem? How much will that difficult conversation matter in 5 years? 2. Negative visualization. This sounds counterintuitive, but it works. Spend a few minutes imagining losing your job, your biggest client, or your most important project. Why? Because when you mentally prepare for setbacks, they lose their power to devastate you. You realize you could handle whatever comes. 3. The discipline of desire. Epictetus taught, don't demand that things happen as you wish. Wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. This doesn't mean being passive. It means accepting reality as your starting point, then working to improve it. 4. Daily Stoic practices. Morning intention. Today, I will focus on what I can control. Midday reset. Am I responding to this situation with wisdom or emotion? Evening reflection. What did I learn today? How did I grow? Building long-term resilience. The Stoics understood that resilience isn't built overnight. It's built through daily practice, like physical fitness. Every time you choose patience over anger, focus over worry, or action over complaint, you're building emotional muscle. Every workplace challenge becomes training for the next one. Every difficult person becomes practice for dealing with future difficult people. This is why Stoics actually welcome challenges. They knew that easy times don't build character. Difficult times do. Now let's put this all together into a practical system you can use starting tomorrow. Your daily Stoic workplace framework. Before work, 5 minutes. Review your circle of control for the day. Set your top 3 priorities. Mentally prepare for potential challenges. Remind yourself, I control my responses, not external events. During work, when stressed, ask, is this in my circle of control? When facing obstacles, ask, how is this helping me grow? When dealing with difficult people, focus on your response, not their behavior. Take 3 deep breaths before responding to any challenging situation. After work, 5 minutes. Reflect on what went well. Identify what you learned. Plan improvements for tomorrow. Practice gratitude for the growth opportunities. Weekly review. What patterns do you notice in your workplace challenges? How has your response to stress improved? What Stoic principles are you applying most effectively? Where do you need more practice? Monthly assessment. How has your workplace satisfaction changed? What new skills have you developed through challenges? How are your relationships with colleagues evolving? What's your next area for Stoic growth? If this video helped you see workplace problems in a completely new way, smash that like button. Why? Because you're not just liking a video. You're committing to taking control of your work life instead of letting it control you. Now here's what I want you to do right now. Comment below with the phrase, I control my response, and tell me about one workplace challenge you're going to approach differently using these Stoic principles. I read every single comment, and I want to support your journey. Share this video with someone in your life who's struggling with workplace stress. Why? Because you might be giving them the exact tools they need to transform their career and their peace of mind. Imagine being the person who introduced them to life-changing philosophy. If you're serious about mastering Stoic principles for modern life, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I post new videos every week with ancient wisdom for modern problems, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Finally, come back in a week and let me know how these techniques worked for you. Share your success stories, your challenges, your breakthroughs. This community grows stronger when we support each other's growth. Remember, you have more power over your work life than you think. The Stoics proved it 2,000 years ago, and you can prove it starting today. Your workplace problems aren't going anywhere, but your response to them is about to change everything. Now go out there and show the world what Stoic strength looks like in action.